All right. I got the Facebook up. It takes a lot of juggling to do everything, but I settled on a filter and that's good. All right. I'm talking to my Instagram crowd right now, Facebook. I have a filter on Insta. Okay, so let's talk about the new moon because it's coming up on Sunday. Today is Thursday. I think time has been very strange lately for me anyway. It seems to move fast and slow at the same time and have it's like a lot of work, a lot going on. And I don't know how it feels for you guys, but that's how it feels for me. So the fact that we're going into a new moon and it's happening Sunday and I'm doing the video on Thursday, it's like I'm already living in the future, right? So we all are. Because this new moon is at 8:50 a.m. on Sunday. So it's in the morning. It's at 16 degrees of Leo. A new moon is when the moon and sun come together and we start planting seeds for a new phase. Today, which is Thursday, August 5th, the moon's in Cancer. The last new moon was July 9th, I do believe, in Cancer. So today, the next couple of days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but probably Thursday and Friday, you may be revisiting stuff from the new moon in Cancer. So like I encourage you to tune in to the last week and see if there was if anything comes up for you in terms of like a theme, and especially if you're in tune with astrology, then you can maybe go back and look at where I said it was in your chart. But that's today. We're closing down the phase of the moon and it's getting darker. And I do like to just commune with the actual thing going on in the sky, which is that we're losing the light of the moon, right? So, I mean, that indicates rest, kind of a retreat feeling generally. But the sign that this new moon is in is not known for either of those things. It's Leo, and Leo is big hearted energy, fun, enjoyment. Let's laugh. Let's have a good time. That's what we're setting intentions on. Interestingly enough. So you can really bring in your creative self actualization to this new moon energy. That's what it's going to be about. And then let me explain to you, though, a little more of the nuance with this new moon in Leo, because yes, it's about creative self actualization, how you open your heart, how you express yourself creatively. Are you in touch with your inner child? Can you laugh fun? What is creativity for you? That's all Leo stuff. But big butts here. I've got one of those. Saturn is in Aquarius, Jupiter's in Aquarius, which is the opposite sign of Leo, which is bird's eye view, fixed air. Think of everybody else. It's the leader. So it's also somewhat disconnected from that inner child creative energy as an archetype, I should say. It's forward thinking. It's Saturn ruled, which is rules, restrictions, laws, all of that stuff. And the midpoint of Jupiter and Saturn, which is just how far they are apart from one another, the middle degree is actually at 19 degrees of Aquarius, which is pretty close to opposite this new moon. So bringing in that Jupiter, Saturn, and Aquarius energy a lot. So what are we doing for our future? What work do we have to do to support this life, the goals that we have? Does it support our creative self-actualization, fun, enjoyment? I mean, are we even thinking about that? We should be. For some of you, maybe not too much. Maybe you need to do more of the Saturn thing. It's very personal. But overall, I mean, this is for everybody, right? Saturn and Jupiter are like, hey, let's build a new future. How can we do this in an innovative way? Technology, forward thinking, feelings. And the new moon in Leo is like, I just want to have fun. Mercury's there. Mercury's at 23 degrees of Leo, and it's actually going to oppose Jupiter in the next couple of days after this new moon. So this energy gets expanded and really mercurial. And so we think about this stuff, maybe inspiration and stuff like that. But also Uranus is in Taurus. And if you watch me, I talk about the fixed grand cross that's going on right now, which is the fixed signs every time they are highlighted. Fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And right now, especially at this new moon, we've got something in almost all of them except for Scorpio. That will come later. Oh, yeah, the Scorpio will come later. But right now, it's the new moon in Leo, Jupiter, Saturn in Aquarius, and Uranus in Taurus. That's a T square. Uranus in Taurus is shaking up what we value: financial systems, food systems, earth systems. Taurus is about what we value. And Uranus is the planet of rebellion and revolution and upheaval. But winning the lottery can be upheaval. Don't forget about that. But it really wants to break the mold, break out of its shell. The fact that we've got this planet of change in a fixed earth sign can be jarring. That's like an earthquake. I mean, think of fixed earth. That's the ground you build your house on. If it shakes, and you know it. So that's Uranus and Taurus. This is square to this new moon by a couple of degrees. So this new moon is charged with the need to shift. Shift what? Our values. I mean, also, are we breaking free? Are we building a new life? What are our rules? I mean, it's like a juggling is what it is. A T square is pretty tense. So with the fact that Uranus is in Taurus, I mean, you can have literal earthquakes with Uranus and Taurus. That's the most interesting thing. But it really wants us to innovate how we treat the earth, innovate our values. Maybe single-use plastics are not a good thing. Why do we have water bottles instead of refilling our jug? I refill my orange juice bottle a lot, or lemonade. That's Uranus and Taurus. The most mundane example can be, I used to really like the color orange and now I like the color red. That is a change in values. And especially with the new moon in Leo, it's like, what are our creative values? And then Saturn, Jupiter, and Aquarius, how do we build our structures to support that? Do they work together? That's very important. Are we needing to innovate and it's not, the structure we have is just not working for us? So we either need to change our values or change the structure. That is the nature of this new moon. So it being in Leo, it's calling us to get creative about it. Let me read you the Sabian symbol for this new moon. And I think it's hilarious. Okay. It really is. Sabian symbols are word pictures for every degree of the zodiac. There's 30 degrees in every sign. So every one of them, that's 360. Yeah, something like that, right? So this is at the 16th degree of Leo, which we read for Leo 17, my cat. You can come up here if you want. Leo is the lion. Come on up here. This is Cosmo. Okay, so Leo 17 is a volunteer church choir makes social event of rehearsal. This symbol shows the spirit of giving without thought of reward and the gathering of people who endeavor to bring goodness and light to the community. Can't make this up. I mean, this is the nature of the new moon. And I think it's hilarious that it's gathering. What are we being advised against right now? Gathering. Like every messaging around us is saying probably shouldn't be in a group. And yet this new moon Sabian symbol is volunteer church choir makes social event of rehearsal. It says you probably feel the need to be with those of like mind. Take the opportunity to share in their expression of spiritual joy and shared faith. It's unified voices that need to be heard. Feelings of togetherness, having a cause, celebrations of spirit, busking and street singing, gatherings, church halls, volunteers, generosity. Yet we're being asked to not do that right now. So, how do you do this? You have to get creative. You have to come with an open heart. You have to be compassionate. Some people are going to have values that are different from you. Does that make you hate them? Why? We are still a community. We're still a human family. Some of us are assholes. Some of us are goofballs and laugh at everything. Some of us are escapists. Some of us are the caretakers and the healers. And some of us are the politicians. God bless their souls. Some of us are the money makers and the managers. Some of us are the children. And some of us are the preachers and the teachers. And we all have a part to play. How do you have compassion and keep the community in a way that runs smoothly together when your values can be so different from someone in your community? How do you do that? That's what this new moon is about. How do we find our like-minded people? And how can we get along with people who aren't like-minded? Division is not the answer right now. And that's exactly what is happening. The answer now is compassion and open-heartedness and fun and love and bringing it to the community any way you can. That's what this is about. Times are not easy. And they are very hard for some people. And we're going into a season that could be very hard for some people. It's imperative that we work together. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I can't help it. It's imperative to love your neighbor. The lowest of the low. The people who you normally discard as stupid or idiotic or whatever makes you judge and put up a wall. It's not going to work. We have to try to find creative ways to reach out to each other, to find common ground. That common ground should be based in love and care. So that's, I mean, you know, the Sabian symbol made me cry, I guess, because things are different. And no matter what you believe, things are probably difficult for many people. New moon in Leo. Interesting that around Leo time, we send kids back to school and Leo rules children. How crazy is that? Astrology is not real. But that's, you know, are we thinking of the children right now? Do you know what's best? All these people, they know what's best, right? I know what's best for children. Listen to the kids. That's a good idea. You know, talk to the kids for this new moon. I don't care if you have kids, want to have kids, hate kids. I hope you don't hate kids. But even if you have an aversion, it might be nice to reach out however way you can. And if that's with your money, that's fine. But I don't think the crisis has really hit us yet. And I'm not just talking about a virus. I'm not just talking about death. I'm talking about all of the intricacies of life and how we work together and how we keep our children healthy and happy. And this is a very America-centric idea even. There are people suffering that have been suffering all over the world. And Leo is giving, it's generous, it's courageous. It's ruled by the sun. That's our purpose. That's how we shine. Leo, you know, it doesn't put on pretenses. It just wants to burn. It just wants to shine. It just wants to love. It is the essence of love. So that's what this new phase is about. And I hope that a lot of people tune into that. Maybe tune out of the rhetoric that divides us, even if it's hard. I have my own judgments, plenty of them that I fight. It's not easy. You wonder how people can be so selfish sometimes, or whatever the case may be. But that's not the way forward. And that's a little annoying. And it's interesting because at this new moon, Mars is square the nodes. Mars is in Virgo. Mars is our ego, action oriented, how we take action. It's the warrior. And in Virgo, it's very focused, and I'd even say determined, but focused, discerning, definitely. And it's square the nose, which is where eclipses happen. So it's playing into this in a way that hooks into the eclipse cycles, which that would have been May and June, and also will be November, December again. So even this new moon in Leo, it's like across the board. It's lighting up the fixed grand cross or T square, and it's lighting up the mutable energies of the eclipses right now. So I think we are called to be discerning, to attend to our health. Virgo rules health. Venus is also there. And Venus is what we love and what we value. And of course, I talked earlier about Uranus being in Taurus, how those values are changing, how we're changing our relationship with the earth, and how the earth is moving, literally, earthquakes, volcanoes, climate change, all of these things. We have to innovate, and we have to be discerning. We have to make sure we're nourishing ourselves. Take your vitamin D. I don't care what you believe. Take vitamin D, please, and melatonin, and, eat, nourish your body as well as you can if you're able. And if you're not, and you have the means, donate to something that helps people do that. It's vitally important that we push health during this season. I mean, our stress levels are going to be high, political inflammation. Think of what's coming at us. Whatever you believe, political rhetoric is just news, like, headlines that comes at us. And this winter is going to be a difficult one for that. So it is vitally important to your soul's evolution, if you look at it square the nodes, to take action on providing healthy, nourishing things for your body and your nervous system, especially with Venus there as well. Anything else for the new moon? No. Let me just say that I'm going to go forward in the week just for, the purposes of giving you an overview, because things kind of click forward pretty fast. And then I'll go through the rising signs. Okay, so Sunday is the new moon. I'm going to go through the rising signs for that later. That's what the theme of this phase is going to be for you. If you know your rising sign, it's extremely helpful. If you don't, you can go to astro.com or any of those apps and check it. And I'll give that really at the end of the couple of weeks that I go over. So Sunday's the new moon. This Sunday, probably, I'm really excited because it is the sun's day that this new moon is on. That's pretty cool. So, maybe get some of that early morning rays or sunset light, because it's that red color spectrum. It's so good for your brain to get that. Try to get that. I'm serious. And then, you'll set intentions probably around Monday, but just let Sunday be quiet and maybe have fun. Doesn't have to be totally quietly. It's not really quiet. The moon moves pretty quick Monday. It's changing early morning into Virgo. And the other thing about Monday is we wake up. So this is where I'm saying things turn pretty mercurial really fast. So the sun is definitely dominating, but it gets pretty mercurial, like thinking, planning, communicating, all of that. And that's because the moon moves into Virgo, which is Mercury ruled, um, right on Monday morning. And Mercury is actually coming in to an opposition with Jupiter. So it's like 3 degrees away on Monday. So it's applying, which usually when things are on the way to meeting or to opposing or whatever the aspect is, when they're on the way to it, it sort of feels stronger. Okay. So it immediately meets Mars, and that is emotional outbursts. That's just how you look at that. Probably due to being picky because it's Virgo, focused, discerning, all of that. I would just watch Monday for being maybe aggravated, especially as the evening wears on. Because Mars is at the early degrees of Virgo, this could be active right in the morning. So hopefully not. But the other big story is that Venus is at 22 degrees opposing Neptune. So during the new moon, it's a couple of degrees away from that. And so I'll say it's going to be probably active from Sunday on. But Venus opposing Neptune is an interesting one right now. Venus is our values, what we love, how we receive, who we love, and being opposite Neptune, which confuses and deludes sometimes, but also sends messages from, the ether. It has potential to be pretty magical, but also a little confusing. So I wouldn't make any money moves on Sunday, Monday. Probably not a good idea. That's going to come later, promise. But after this new moon being square to Uranus, the sun actually, I really need to circle back because before the new moon, in fact, it's tomorrow, the sun squares Uranus, and that's going to be pretty shaky. So, like I said, I'm coming to you Thursday the 5th on August, Friday the 6th. Gets kind of weird with the sun square Uranus. I think I explained the rebellion, upheaval, earthquake type stuff. So, likely that could result in like an announcement of a quarantine somewhere, something like that. Who knows? It could just be some information, maybe technology glitches. That's just tomorrow, Friday. So then Sunday's the new moon. The moon moves into Virgo on Monday, hits Mars, maybe some conflagrations. Venus opposes Neptune. Could be a little confusing. You may feel like escaping. It may be like, I don't know which direction to go. I don't know how to feel. It could be because of this upset. I think make Monday one in which you can just kind of like, Monday's a really good day to clean. Okay. Like rage clean with Mars and the moon coming together. And Venus opposing Neptune and Virgo. That's, it's like totally spells, however you decide to get out of your own head, that's what you're going to be doing, probably. But if you can use it to your advantage, like put on some music and clean, that's a good idea. Okay, so Tuesday looks like Mercury is definitely opposing Jupiter by the afternoon on Tuesday. So Mercury opposite Jupiter is big ideas. Could be a little know-it-all syndrome because Jupiter really does know it all. But I feel like that might be an inspirational sort of transit, one in which you really want to get to the bottom of a situation. Jupiter is looking to build in a way that's expansive. So Jupiter wants to build and build it big, right? Allow for all this creativity. And Mercury agrees. I think that opposition is going to be quite interesting. Get out your pen and paper. That's a good day to write. And it could be pretty stubborn energy, but Mercury's already squared Uranus. It's probably ready to shift. So the moon's past Mars and Virgo. The moon does trine Uranus on Tuesday. So more of the ability to harness that shifty energy. Mars is coming into that exact square with the nodes as well on Tuesday. So we are meant to be taking action on the Virgo area of our life for sure. Find out where that is in your chart. Yeah, we got moon in Virgo for the rest of Tuesday. Wednesday, what do we wake up with? It looks like moon Venus. That's really wonderful. So the moon does apply to a conjunction with Venus on Wednesday, early in the morning Central Time. That is always a really nice aspect because Venus is a benefic. It makes us feel really good. It's about beauty and pleasure. So the moon being there is always really nice. It is still opposite Neptune and also trine Pluto. So this Venus trine Pluto on Wednesday is going to be uh really about, I think, making the decisions to take back power somewhere. Um Pluto is about power and power plays and transformation in Capricorn, which is our boundaries or structures. Uh, and Venus in Virgo is being very judgmental in the best way about what's in our lives. So that's a good day to get rid of stuff. Like if you're looking to purge, that's the day to do it. You may be purging people, who knows? That's it could be. You could be purging anything, but pruning's a better word. We're going to be pruning on Wednesday. Okay. All right. So is Wednesday late night? Yes. Later in the day on Wednesday, Mercury moves into Virgo. So more of that Virgo energy is what we're coming up with. Once Mercury moves into Virgo, it rules Virgo. That's really awesome. That's the time to make lists, get stuff done. Heck yeah. Sun's at 20 degrees Thursday, the 12th. The moon's in Libra. Let's talk about moon in Libra. So Wednesday evening, Mercury moves into Virgo, the moon moves into Libra. This Libra transit will trine Saturn and trine Jupiter, which is really great to kind of hone in on where we're going, plans. I've been saying we're trying to redo some things, get creative. This will be a day for that, thinking outside the box about how to do things in life. Pay attention because in a month or two, Mercury will retrograde there. There's a lot of energy coming in Libra in the next month or two. So helps to pay attention. Yeah, moon Libra for Thursday, Friday. Sort of a quiet energy. Yeah. I mean, it seems pretty quiet and it will be maybe for a day or two there. So, hey, that's good news, right? We'll see how that goes. Makes sense. At least my kids are starting school August 11th. So, I mean, quiet is the name of the game there. All right. So, Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. We've got a Friday the 13th coming up, and it just so happens it's the moon in Scorpio. If there's anything that rules the themes around Friday the 13th, it's going to be Scorpio. So there's that. That also is going to be eventually maybe Saturday, the first quarter square of this moon. The first quarter square of a new moon phase is always the first adjustment period from that beginning seed. Okay. It's like when the seed births forth out of the ground, that is the first quarter square. And it's hard to crack that dirt, right? So that's sort of what we're doing. In Scorpio, that's going to get deep. Leo wants to have fun, enjoy life. Scorpio wants to brood and look at the depths of the matter, really get to the root chakra and figure it out. What are our true desires? True nature really comes up in Scorpio land. So it is about power, shared resources, and that's going to be, I think, how I was saying we need to do it differently. We need to gather differently. That's what I was saying the new moon was about. Well, with Scorpio coming in as that first quarter square, it's going to be like, okay, but I hate this person or I hate what they think. It's like, I can't take this power struggle anymore. That could be annoying. I mean, just kind of like an adjustment of very deep proportions. Um, and before that first quarter square, which is on Sunday, it looks like Saturday is moon opposite Uranus. That really is a grand cross. I mean, not exactly by degree, but it's still a fixed grand cross. So Friday, Saturday could be a lot of adjustment and a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It's the weekend. But you know, what could come up is how you share yourself, basically. How much is my time worth? How much am I worth? A lot of self-worth issues coming out there with that moon in Scorpio. I see a lot of people drawing lines around that time and really saying this is not going to work for me or this will work for me. Okay. Yeah, and Sunday is the first quarter square with the sun at 23 degrees of Leo. And the sun is applying to an opposition with Jupiter. So right after that first quarter square, the moon also squares Jupiter, which makes our emotions really big. Watch for blow ups around this weekend. Like, really, if you want to avoid it, I suggest that's a good hidey hole time. Like, seriously. In fact, like, I would just think you're going to figure out what you really want in the upcoming months during this moon transit. And it could be quite intense, interactions with people, etc. So just be aware of that. I don't want to, write anything into reality and have you expecting bad stuff, because that's not what I want out of my astrology. But I do want you to be aware that could be a possibility. The other possibility is you stand on top of the mountain and say, I'm king. Okay, so Monday the 16th, the moon in Sagittarius. That will square Mars, and Mercury. I'm not sure that's the hugest transit. We'll see. It's going to highlight eclipse stuff Monday and Tuesday. It's going to feel pretty expansive, I would think. Or maybe just because it hits the South Node first, we're really like, yeah, that's not who I am anymore. I'm leaving behind that story. So what we need to talk about then is Wednesday, the 18th, the sun really gets within a degree of being opposite Jupiter, and Mars gets within a few degrees of being trine Uranus, and Mercury comes together with Mars on Wednesday, the 18th. This seems to stand out as an important day. The moon's in Capricorn, creating a grand Earth trine. Oh gosh, I missed Venus moving into Libra. Well, that makes a whole lot of sense. When is that? Oh, that's Monday overnight. Okay, so we go to bed Sunday, the 15th. Monday, the 16th, Venus moves into Libra. Venus is at home in Libra. It really loves being in Libra. That's a great energy. It will eventually trine Saturn. Really wonderful for building things and having some luck doing it. But that's just a shift pretty quickly on Monday into Libra. But Wednesday, the 18th, really did stand out because Mercury and Mars come together. They are coming into a trine with Uranus, which is rebellion, revolution. And they are coming into, and the sun's coming into an opposition with Jupiter. So what you've got is some pretty explosive energy. The sun in Leo opposite Jupiter in Aquarius is extra. That's a good way to put it. We really, I think, are gunning for what we truly want, and Jupiter is like, yeah, let's do it. And it could be some rules pressing down on us. That's always a possibility because it's Aquarius. Now, the Mercury and Mars conjunction is really good for getting things done. You're talking about our action-oriented selves and our mind. So again, I think that doing stuff around the house, around the yard, anything productive or out in nature. But production seems to be the way I would describe that. Like it's really good for producing or for pruning or for cleaning or for focusing on little details, writing, really good for that. And the fact that it's coming into a trine with Uranus, it's also very inspiring, very, very, very inspiring. The fact that the moon's in Capricorn gives it staying power. So if you're a creative or a writer or something like that, or you need to do your website or you need to clean your house and et cetera, that's a great day to do it. Very good day to do that. So I wanted to make sure and say that. In fact, that lasts through till like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's great. So that brings us into new moon territory. The exact Sun Jupiter opposition is Friday the 20th. And the moon has moved into Aquarius during that time. It will hit Saturn. Venus is in Libra, coming into a trine with the node, South Node, and Saturn, and making a kite with the North Node. That's very special. I mean, I'm sorry, the South Node. That's very special. Kite on Friday the 20th. I'll come back and say more about that. I'm just going to say it's good for leaving behind the narratives. Okay. Really good for that. Really good for helping to rewrite your story. And for really changing your beliefs. Like if there's some limiting beliefs that you have, that's another good day for that. In fact, that whole Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 18th, 19th, 20th could rock some people's worlds. I feel like that's what's going to happen and cause people to, adopt new beliefs of some sort. That could really be the possibility there. The exact Mars Uranus trine is just before the full moon with Jupiter. And that is August 22nd. So the Mars Uranus trine is August 21st. That's going to be a supercharged full moon, y'all. Supercharged full moon. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that because I'm going to have to come do a whole nother video on it. So yeah, let me go through the rising signs real quick. This will be pretty brief for the new moon in Leo. This is how you get creative with how you're structuring your life. This is how you break the mold and innovate in order to create. All of these things is what this new moon in Leo is about. And so let me tell you, especially for, let's see, I need to go forward here. Trying to get my chart right so I can refer to it. Very close. All right. Okay, for Aries risings, this new moon in Leo is in your 5th house, pretty similar to the actual delineation of what Leo means anyway. So the new moon in Leo for you is about creative self-actualization, period. Okay. It may mean some restructuring of your friend groups, your goals, and your finances are definitely taking a shift here. Your values definitely taking a shift. Your self-worth, it may be radical self-worth for you. Okay. But this new moon in Leo is about following your heart. Aries risings. Taurus rising. This is about home and family for you. So this could be a case of either, are you working from home, want to get out of it? Are you working out away from your home and you want to come back? And the reason I'm saying work is because Saturn is up there in your 10th house of career and Jupiter's there as well. It's like demanding you to do the work to be successful. With a new moon in Leo's like, hey, do you relax? Do you take care of yourself? Uranus and Taurus is like, hey, are you taking care of yourself? So if you're a Taurus rising, that's what you're doing. You're taking care of yourself for this new moon. You're making sure you're nurtured and that you feel safe and secure and that your inner child is attended to, your children are attended to. That's the new moon in Leo for you. Okay. In fact, when that first quarter square happens in Scorpio, that's when you're probably going to be like, I'm not taking this from you anymore because you're not letting me relax in my own home or something like that. Okay. So definitely about your home, family, and nurturing, a creative, and also caring environment there. All right. So Gemini risings, this Leo new moon is in your third house of decision making, communicating, and local community. So it is about communicating from your heart. I do believe that. I think that your beliefs are going through a restructuring. What you believe to be true could be higher education, like college or school. Could have a lot to do with teaching, Gemini risings, which you're good at, by the way. Uranus and Taurus is in your 12th house. So you're restructuring subconsciously, like kind of an abstract download is what you're getting. So the new moon in Leo is about coming from the heart when you're speaking and really speaking your truth and saying the things that are true for you and being yourself authentically. Cancer risings, this is in your second house of values and finances. So this is like, hey, raise your prices, Cancer risings. It really is. It's about, are you supported by your finances? Are your assets supporting your creativity? And is your creativity adding to your finances? You could look at it either way. It could be about really giving yourself the structure you need to make more money, because Saturn's in your 8th house of business partnerships, shared resources, boundaries, power imbalances. And Uranus is in your 11th house of goals. So this could mean a goal change. Like maybe you really come into focus on what your goals are. And that's how you're going to create this new financial thing for yourself. But it's also like, hey, let loose, maybe spend some money on yourself. Don't give it all away. It's okay to guard your assets and to feel comfortable. You don't have to share it with everybody. Maybe the way you're sharing yourself with people needs to shift, Cancer risings. Leo rising, this is all about you and your identity. So you may be planting seeds for really living your authentic truth. Like, this is who I am. Uranus is in your 10th house of career. So what's shifting for you is public reputation, career. I would say things like life direction, accolades, that all belongs in the 10th house. The other place that I would say has focus for you is your 7th house of relationships. So this is like, I'm going to plant the seeds to really live for my heart's joy. And if that means doing something crazy with my career or ending relationships, then that's what needs to happen. You need to get a redo in this relationship area for this new moon. It's like, I am worth more than that. That's what I'm getting for Leo risings. Or it could be career. That's that as well. Co-workers. It doesn't have to just be romantic relationships. It could also be friendships. The other possibility is maybe you're trying to make friends. Maybe you're trying to make a splash. That's this new moon for you. So it really is about saying, look at me. Okay. All right. Virgo rising. This is a pretty abstract new moon for you. It's in your 12th house, which is spirituality, dreams, mysticism, magic, all of that. And so it's almost, I don't necessarily think you can really set intentions for the 12th house. You can by setting aside time for spiritual communion. But maybe that is the thing that you're needing, is some spiritual communion with something. Saturn's in your 6th house of work and everyday life and routine. Maybe that also is undergoing a restructuring, a change. Uranus is in your 9th house. It's really shaking up your beliefs. Okay. What you believe to be true about reality. Your values are shifting. It's like, I don't even know if what I believe to be true is anymore. So allow for space for this new moon in Leo, space to download, space to upload, space to really integrate all of the things that have happened, and also to have a more of a spiritual connection going forward for the next several months. It's a good thing to have a routine that includes spirituality, health, whatever you might say that way, for this new moon for Virgo risings. Also, Virgo risings, Mars and Venus are in your 1st house right now, which is pretty nice for identity. I just wanted to throw that little thing in there. All right. Libra risings, this Leo new moon is in your 11th house of goals, larger, like communities at large. You're thinking large groups of people, and dreams for the future. It's definitely the future. So you're really committing to your heart's desire and your goals, Libra risings. What do I want out of life? Where am I going? Saturn and Jupiter in your 5th house, and fun may be hard to come by right now. Enjoyment, it's like I've been working all summer and I'm just so tired and I don't know what to do. That's the nature of this new moon. It's like, hey, think about what fun is for you. You really need to be having some fun and making time for that. And that's like your goal is to have fun now. And Uranus is in your 8th house, which is really shifting how you look at contracts. And when I say contracts, I don't just mean like the contracts you sign for a loan, that for sure, but also the contracts you sign with people, the soul contracts you have. Really be very specific in your values over who you're sharing yourself with. Otherwise, the new moon intention for you is in your goals and future and friend groups area. Scorpio risings. Okay. This is in your 10th house of career, public reputation, mastery. How do you want to be known? Basically, like what am I doing with my life? What is the meaning? That really is how I look at the 10th house. What gives my life meaning? What do I want to be known as? That's where this new moon in Leo is. Saturn and Jupiter are opposite in your 4th house of home, family. It could have something to do with you working at home or from home, and you want to start something new in that way, or maybe not working from home and you want to. Could have a lot to do with how much time you spend at home versus at work, what your family needs of you versus what your career needs of you. Uranus is in Taurus in your 7th house. So how you relate to people is undergoing a shift. And you may like find yourself separating from friends because they don't really line up with you anymore. And that can, make things feel weird. But this new moon is really saying, who do you want to be? What is career for you? Is your heart in it? I think that's the most important thing for Scorpio risings. Sag risings. This is in your 9th house of adventure. I love the 9th house for adventure, travel, higher education, beliefs, truth. So you're really searching your heart for what you believe to be true. Also, what's fun for you? Is it, gambling? Leo is notorious for ruling games and such. So, I think this is about what you believe your inner child loves, and maybe how that shifting, is that changing, what is that about? So what you believe to be true about life is what this new moon is asking you. Saturn, Jupiter in your 3rd house of communication, decision making. So you could be very busy in your mind, or maybe feeling like, this decision is too heavy to make. This new moon in Leo is like lighten the load a little bit. Uranus is in your 6th house of health, daily life, routine. So the things that you value there are shifting. So I'm going to say for Sag risings, it might be a good idea to get a routine started that helps you feel more in control of your daily life. I think that's important for you all right now, for several reasons. But I do think that your personal truth has been under the gun a little bit lately. And it's important to listen to philosophy podcasts or self-help audiobooks or whatever during this time, because you're questioning things, basically. And that's what your heart needs, is to search for the truth. Capricorn risings. This is in your 8th house of inheritance, shared resources, contracts, taxes, sex, death, life, rebirth. Is that enough? No big deal, right? No pressure. So yeah, how you share yourself. You've probably heard me say it to other people. I'm gonna say it to you too. Who you have contracts with. Do you need to write new contracts with people, or do you need to break some? It could have a lot to do with money, shared money, debts, or maybe what you're owed as a debt. Saturn and Jupiter in your second house of finances. So this is likely financial for you. Maybe you need to make some new investments or shift how that goes. Uranus is in Taurus in your fifth house, which is your inner child enjoyment. And you're really, I think, figuring out what, honestly, it seems like maybe assets and money are what you enjoy accruing as a Capricorn rising, but something's not hitting there, right? Like it's not the money anymore. It's something deeper. And that's what this new moon is asking. It's like, what's the thing down there at the root that I'm not figuring out about what I desire? Is it true love? Like, do you have true love in your relationships? Is that what's going on? Is it passion? It's fun, it's enjoyment, but maybe things that were fun for you aren't fun anymore. And so you're having a little bit of an identity crisis. That's okay. It's really okay. I feel the need to say that to Cap risings for sure. Like, it's okay if you're not sure who you are right now. You're really trying to figure that out. So your values, what you find to be in alignment with your true heart's purpose, you're figuring that out. I think figuring it out is the key. Okay. Go deep. This is shadow work for Cap risings. Aquarius rising. This is in your seventh house of relationships. So it's a new phase there. Are they fun? Are they feeding your creative self-actualization? Are they, are you enjoying it? Saturn and Jupiter in your first house, which is really restructuring who you are as a person for sure. With Uranus in your fourth house of home and family, shifts there are affecting relationships and identity. Okay. So I think my advice for Aquarius risings is to pay attention to the people in your life. There's something there. Maybe it's that you need to open your heart a little more and see that we're all just the same. Or maybe it's that you need to draw stronger boundaries. Or maybe you need to quit being so serious. Aquarius rising, Saturn is in your first house. So being serious about your networking and your connections and your work is probably really heavy on you right now. The new moon in Leo with Mercury there is like, hey, lighten up. You got these people around you that love you. Have fun with them. This is not all, serious, heavy games. Okay. This is like fun games. It's like you don't have to win the Monopoly. It's about playing it. Okay. It's about playing the game and especially playing with people in the game because it's in your seventh house. So try to inject some fun into your relationships. And if you're not having fun in your close relationships, that needs to be examined. Pisces rising. This is in your sixth house of health and work and rituals and daily life. Pisces risings. I'm very excited for you because I think rituals are going to be very powerful for you. You are undergoing probably one of the harder transits in astrology right now with Saturn and Jupiter in your 12th house. That's subconscious. That's a lot of existential pressure. And it's not fun. Okay. It is a spiritual redoing, a spiritual restructuring, a subconscious restructuring. The new moon in Leo is like, okay, what's real? What's in your daily life that's real? What can we work with? What can we use our hands for? What do we enjoy? What brings us joy literally every day? How do we nourish our bodies? Are we in touch with our inner child? All of that. Uranus is in Taurus in your third house. So open up that throat chakra and speak it. It really is for everyone, probably to a certain extent with this new moon in Leo. It's about saying, look at me, here I am, here's my creative nature. And that's why I say creative self-actualization. But for Pisces risings, it is like showing up every day as that creator and saying, look at me, I do it every day. And I want to give it to you. And so it's going to take a lot of subconscious restructuring to come out and say, I'm the person, look at me, I think, for Pisces risings. And that work is every day, ritual, routine. How do I show up in my heart every day and work toward my joy? Because when Jupiter moves into your first house and the Jupiter Neptune conjunction hit, ooh, it's gonna be nice. And that's 2022. Okay. And then furthermore, when Jupiter moves into Aries, that's your financial sector. That's in like May, June of next year. You're going to be hustling. Okay. So put the structure in. That's what it's saying. Put the structure in. Do the routine, do the work because it's coming for you, Pisces risings. All right. I think that takes care of all the rising signs. Oh, I really enjoyed this live stream. This one was fun. I got all emotional and I cried a little bit. So it'll be available on YouTube sooner than later. It's going to stay on my IGTV, and it'll be on Facebook as well. And I'm so glad to see you all. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find me at Ecstatic Astrology on all of the things, ecstaticastrology.com. And you can book a session on my website, very easy. And if you have any questions, always shoot me an email, ecstaticastrology@gmail.com. That being said, I hope you have a wonderful new moon time on Sunday. And all my love. Please remember to be compassionate towards others, even if you don't agree with them. Please remember that we have to take away the division. It's not going to help. It truly is not. We have to figure out how to work together. And you have to figure out how to be in your heart. In these times, it ain't easy. All right, you guys.